welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. Joining us in studio this morning again, coming back for the second part of their interview, Danya and Brittany, mom and daughter, coming back to chat with us about their experience downtown Kingston with Danya's Coffee Barrel. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys are very brave. Having started in 2019, at the end of 2019, fully into this entrepreneurship journey, downtown Kingston, then came COVID. What happened?
Brave is a good word. It was just kind of rough. Like, we had just opened and we had barely started to get momentum, and then all of a sudden, just these restrictions, decreased people. So we didn't actually really have any idea what a regular day looked like, because all of our days up until 2022 were COVID days. And so our menu was very small. I think we had mentioned that we had actually started with just salads. So we had a third of the space and they had the rest. And so our space was so small prep-wise that our menu was like 3 sandwiches, like a lasagna and the drinks. And then she was like, this is just not, I can't put the energy that I need to put into this, so I'm going to go and focus on my flagship location. And we had the choice to either find someone else to take over that space or take it over ourselves. And ultimately we made the decision to just take over the whole space. And with the space came increased prep space, seating, and so we got to like increase our menu. So we went from having 3 sandwiches, we have about 35 things on the menu right now, which is a little nuts when you think about it. But it's I would say standard cafe fare. Bagel sandwiches for breakfast, omelets, French toast, waffles, pancakes, that kind of thing. We do have a couple signature things. Our pork tenderloin on brioche, I would say, is our top selling sandwich, would you say? I think so. It's homemade brioche, guava glazed pork tenderloin, that kind of thing. And so when we took over the space and we increased our seating capacity, because that was also a big sticking point, we tried to make the most of the space that we had originally, but there was just not enough space to like sit and eat a meal and like sit down and read a book or have a meeting. And I definitely think the increased seating capacity has helped us.
Here's the thing though, Daniel. So many people looked forward to the end of COVID. Some businesses did well based on their offerings, and some just really were surviving. And then we thought, well, yeah, here's the end of the restrictions. COVID is still around, but not as...
Right.
And so here we are now, ready, open, outside. But then came the war in Ukraine, inflation, banks tightening, higher interest rates. So you still have challenges. How have you managed through all of this?
We still have challenges. And every day is a new challenge. Every day you come to work or you open your eyes, you are confronted with something new. And you cannot fold up and say, it's it, I can't do this anymore. No, you have to put your trust. I put my trust fully in the Lord, and I said, well, Lord, you have brought me down here. Against all the odds, we are still standing after COVID. So if you have kept us to this point, then you will carry us further. And so that is our trust, that He will see us through. And every single day that you get up, there is another. Now, nobody will think of this, but what's happening with beryllium is affecting us.
Of course.
You can't put your money into your usual way. You can't use your ATM the usual way. So you find yourself moving from place to place to place, trying to find a way to do a quick transaction, to get something done. So that's a challenge that you don't think about until you are confronted with it. You don't think about the fact that not only are we struggling with higher costs for our imports, for our farmers, but we're thinking now we're confronted with a major drought. What do? Say, I'm not going to sell any salads anymore? No. You have to wheel and come again fast. And you immediately go into the next mode, and you say, well, how can we, if we can't get lettuce the way we are supposed to get lettuce, what are we going to do? So you say, what else? You Google is a great friend of mine, and you Google what else can I do, and you find something and says, well, let's try this. And for the most part, we've had good customers who have been understanding, and they go with us, go with the flow and that sort of thing. So every day.
But you are a story of the true Jamaican spirit of resilience, of always looking to pivot,
Yes.
always retooling. How do you manage? Because so you started with all of these little things, and then you got what would be a big challenge for many. Oh, your partner is now gone.
Yes.
You're faced with higher costs, but you faced it head on. You increase your offering, you make use of the space, and now the customers are coming in even more. Your offerings are even greater. But again, it's not the traditional downtown take. How do you distinguish yourself and continue to appeal to the clientele?
So the food is a big part of it, right? We wanted to do things that were nice, that still paid homage to like local flavors, local products. But I think a big part of our, I guess, belief and like core belief is a little less focus on the food and more on like the service and the customer experience. And I think that a lot of things will follow if you are dedicated. And now listen, we are all...
I like that, Brittany, because that's one of the things that Jamaicans crave, but we all complain about it. And, service in Jamaica, by and large, well, certainly in past years, has not been where it should be. And we all complain about the service we receive and so on. But you're distinguishing yourself on service, and it's proving a big...
Well, we're trying, right? So here's the thing about what I find about food and beverage, hospitality, anything that's people forward really, is that I think you can't be perfect every day, but I think people expect a certain level of consistency and like expectations being met. So it's almost like it's an industry that demands perfection, and so we don't always get it right, right?
And perfection changes every day.
Right.
More demanding.
And it's varies
Several
from
times a
person to
day.
person. People have different ideas of what that looks like. And so we definitely don't get it right all the time. It's impossible. But I think what we do try and do is when we don't get it right is we move with urgency and genuine desire.
But you do have a big pastry section, and we haven't touched on that. Talk to me about all these delicious, and you should have brought some for us. Talk to me about that section of it.
Okay, so aside from the fact that we have Daniel's Coffee Barrel, we have a parent business which also suffered in COVID because it was catering. And so that took a big nosedive as well. But again, I go back to the Lord because we kept our staff. We had to officially lay off because, the obligations when you have salaried people. So we laid off, and initially we had alternate days. We had to be creative because our staff just needed to continue to live.
Yes.
And it was hard, and just to think of them having their own families, and you say, well, you go home because I can't help you. We made personal sacrifices, significant sacrifices, just to keep them enough that they could at least have. So we have another part of the business, and that operates strictly out of home.
Okay.
So everything that happens down here happens at home.
Okay.
So we produce everything at home, and everything is produced to a point, frozen, and then brought, except of course for the breakfast things like the eggs and so
And the pastries.
yes, those are fresh. So we're producing every day we are producing. So we have a staff of 5 full-time and 1 part-time in the home industry, and so we produce all of the pastries that we have in the coffee shop.
And they're giving us the wrap-up signal. Can't believe they're really doing that. But what's in the future for this lovely Danya's Coffee Barrel?
Well, I would say I hope maybe to expand the current location. We're never going to leave that location. You're going to have to pry that one out of my cold dead hands. And then increasing that, maybe just like increase our seating capacity, our kitchen space and all of that. And maybe we've been talking a lot about having like an express location. I don't know that we have the resources, like human resources, to do a full location right now. But like an express, like a Danya's to go kind of vibe in like an office or in like even the new Parliament building that's coming up. And so I think that's the most feasible next step for us, as well as our like retail goods. So we make our own pepper jelly, we bottle and we sell. Our frozen ready-to-go meals, lasagnas, pot pies, quiches, that kind of thing. We're gonna start making a good push into getting those into market.
And of course, in the back of Mom's mind is somewhere on the waterfront.
Should get that further much.
In spite of the breeze, somewhere on the waterfront.
Yes.
You can deliver and somebody can sit and.
Well, it's beautiful where it is now because you sit on the counter and you have the beautiful harbor and you see the planes coming. It's water. So I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied.
Absolutely great to have had you on set, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I am now hungry.
Good. Well, we're right across the road, so when you're finished, you can come on over.
There you have it, viewers. Absolutely thrilling interview. Exciting. Jamaican entrepreneurs struggling, fighting it through COVID, but finding success. And of course, success tastes quite delightful when it has coffee in it.
Absolutely.
As we always say here on Let's Talk Stocks, we bring you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us tomorrow morning at 9 when we'll have another delightfully tasted program lined up for you.